So a lot of people are looking to get into the transportation and logistics industries, but don't know which routes for them. The first step a lot of people take is going to buy a truck, start a trucking company, or be an owner-operator. And that's great. It's great earning potential being an owner-operator. I know some owner-operators that making like $200,000 to $300,000 a year. As long as their trucks are on the road and the drivers in their truck, they're golden. But the only thing about that is driver retention. A lot of drivers aren't staying with their companies. They're kind of going off and do their own thing, and that's great too, you know what I'm saying? But it kind of hurts the people that go and buy the trucks. And then on top of that, you have drivers that are failing physicals and not able to pass the drug test to keep the trucks on the road. And then you also have the problem that people are running into as far as finding trailers. It's hard to find trailers nowadays because it's such a shortage. It's a shortage of materials to make most anything nowadays. So you want to be careful when going out there and making those type of purchases without thinking about that, and also maintenance. Maintenance was a big issue for me when I had my truck, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't prepared for all those extra costs. We take into account the cost of the truck, but we don't take into account the cost of a tire popping off, the transmission going down, or hell, the engine even blowing. You know what I'm saying? So, if a $30,000 engine blow, there goes your profits. You know what I'm saying? So in that case, I would say I wouldn't recommend anybody go out and buy a truck unless you're financially prepared and know what risk you're taking.
The next thing people get into is dispatching, and dispatching is great. You get to reach out to carriers and build a network with carriers so you can keep their trucks rolling. And the good thing about that is you can do this from home. The only thing you need is a computer, internet, and phone. And you can make great money working from home as a dispatcher. But the downside of being a dispatcher is you have to rely on carriers to build your business.
That's right. Some carriers want to run one week and not run the next. And what that does, it cuts into your money. Some drivers, their truck breaks down and they're on the road, you know what I'm saying? They can't move, it messes with your money. And there's no loyalty in this game. If drivers at a truck stop and they're talking to somebody that's making good money, they're on the road, they got a dispatcher that's keeping them rolling, more than likely they're gonna try that dispatcher out. And what that does, it affects your money.
Absolutely. So that's why I personally don't recommend being a dispatcher, because you have to rely on carriers and carriers only to build your business.
Also, people hop into this industry to be freight brokers. Being a freight broker is one of the best opportunities in this industry. You have the ability to make unlimited income and earning potential as a freight broker. Then on top of that, you can hire sales agents and freight agents up under you to scale your business even faster. But the downside to that is most people go and take a little cheap freight broker class that teaches them just the basics. You go and get your surety bond and go and get all the necessary paperwork, but then you're stuck. You don't know how to sell, you don't know how to close, and you don't know the big picture of what it takes to own a freight brokerage. You don't know what TMS systems to use. You don't have enough money to be able to sustain your business, so you go to what? You start to factor. And when you start to factor those loads, it's still taking money from the money that you could have made, but you're not cash strong enough to be suitable for certain customers. Customers look at your earning potential, they look at your bank statements, and how much money does your company make? Like, do they want to do business with a company that only has $20 in the bank or $200? So if you don't have at least $1 million in the bank and try to step out there and be a freight brokerage and you want to compete with the big dogs, it's pointless. It's like you can't start a small burger chain and try to compete with McDonald's. You can't do it. So you want to be with somebody who can help you and give you the right processes. But if you're trying to start on your own and do it your own way, it'll never work. And that's why I don't recommend starting out as a freight broker with no experience, because for every one freight brokerage that starts, 100 close. Don't be part of that 100.
Now, what we do recommend if you're trying to get into the logistics and transportation industry is what we do, being a freight agent.
That's right. Being a freight agent is where it's at. You have the same responsibilities as a freight broker, but you don't have the overhead. You don't have insurance costs, none of that stuff like that. The only thing you need is a phone, a computer, good internet connection, and a grind. That's it. And with that, you can make 6 to 7 figures at home. You hear me? At home. You ain't got to work for nobody else. You be an independent freight agency, be able to build your business and pass it on to your kids, create that generational wealth we all thirsting for.
Absolutely. So therefore, you don't have to have a truck, you don't have to dispatch, and you don't have to worry about carriers building your business. You actually are doing business with other businesses, which are shippers.
Correct. So nobody's feeding you, you're feeding yourself. Only thing you gotta do is put the work in. You know what I'm saying? As far as cons, when it comes to this industry.
What's the downside? The only downside is you.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't put the work in, you ain't gonna see the results.
That's it. If you are someone that's looking to hop into the logistics and transportation industry without the headache of owning a truck, without dispatching, or without setting up a full brokerage, click the link somewhere on this page.